Alright, so I'm going straight into it. No intro, so alright, so just yesterday there was a penalties that come out for both Austin Dillon and Jordan Logano. Let's start with Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon fine for getting the penalty because his brother came on the radio telling him to wreck Denny Hamlin, and then he ended up crashing both Logano and Hamlin as well, and ended up giving him the win on Sunday, meaning that he is not playoff eligibility. He keeps away the trophy, but that would not allow him to be in the playoffs. So meaning that Austin Dillon has to win again and find a way at whichever track they're going. There's only three tracks left, and find a way to get back into the playoffs. I know just on Sunday they had a strong card, but where did this speed come from? I don't know. Alright, so before the incident happened, we all know Austin Dillon had a terrible start, meaning that he was not going to be able to win the race if he had a terrible start. Jordan Logano, on the other hand, not jumped the start, but had a perfect launch because of Austin Dillon. Now, speaking of Jordan Logano was penalized, but because for a on pit road incident, they fined him $50,000. His spotter is going to be his spotter or crew chief, I'm not sure which one. His spotter or crew chief is going to be suspended for three races, and those three races are Michigan, Daytona, and Darlington. Now, do I think that was a good idea from them crashing both Logano and Hamlin? No, that was not a good idea. I mean, how could you crash two cars and decide to win anyways? That right there is a pathetic move. You cannot just say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna crash it." Guess what? NASCAR's gonna find a way to suspend you anyways, or in this case, a penalty. Yeah, so if you're a Austin Dillon fan, I know you're probably saying, "Oh, this was the wrong move. He shouldn't be penalized. It should have been only Jordan Logano." Yeah, if you're an Austin Dillon fan, you're probably saying that, but if you're a Joey Logano fan, this is what you wanted. If you're a Joey Logano fan, this is what you wanted for Austin Dillon. But if you're also, if you're a Joey Logano fan, you didn't want Joey Logano to be penalized. But if you're a Austin Dillon fan, you probably want Joey Logano to be penalized. And I know. If you feel like this was the wrong way for Joey Logano, I feel like it wasn't. For Austin Dillon, I feel like it wasn't, but it was the right call, and he's not gonna just be. NASCAR's not just gonna sit down and ignore this situation with Austin Dillon wrecking Joe Logano and Denny Hamlin. Nah, you can't crash two cars in 1 week or any race. My bad. If you do, what's the whole point of you just trying to go for the win? I mean, potentially going for the playoffs. Now, this is probably the worst thing that Austin Dillon needed. Now, they did pull a video of Austin Dillon as soon as before this all happened, and they said they're not done yet. And it was a video of just Austin Dillon. Though it's kind of fair because you shouldn't wreck somebody who is 32nd in points. You're trying to fight your way to the playoffs, and you're having a fast race. You're running your line. You're running your race. You're making decisions on these option tires or the prime, and you somehow end up having a good car, and you end up being good at this track. You end up being great, but on the other hand, you need to be careful. NASCAR does not allow this to happen. They don't want you just to crash any driver, because if you do, you're losing your spot on purpose for the playoffs. Now, he might have gotten the win. We don't know Joey Logano went there, burn out, and started revving his engine in front of the Richard Children's bunch. But aside of that, he did almost ran some of the family that Austin Dillon is close to. But that being said, I don't know how not smart of him he would not be. And then on him, why would you tell your driver to wreck? You obviously can see, if you go to the SMT data, you obviously can see him turning to the right and wrecking Denny Hamlin. Now, I did hear both radios. Logano was furious on Sunday. Hamlin was kind of just chill, but also kind of mad about it. I also heard Junior's podcast. He said he was kind of, he said that he was kind of concerned about NASCAR. Do I have a problem with Austin being penalized? I do not have a problem with it. I do not have a problem. This is what he deserves. This is why NASCAR gives you penalties. It's not because they want to. It's because you did something wrong and at some point there's going to be a line, an invisible line. At some point, they cross the line. You cross the line. Now, I heard the guy's interview. He was upset. He did not like what Austin Dillon did to him at the last lap. I'm not sure, and I don't think it's because it was a checker. I think it's because of the wreck itself. But I think as well, you have Elton Sawyer who we said on Sunday, he said that there is no penalty just yet, but they did took 3 days to penalize Austin Dillon, and that was just yesterday. And I think this is the right call. So if you think this is not the right call, go find a different podcast. And if you're on Austin Dillon's team, and as well, this is just Yes, it's fair to everyone else that yes, it was fair to everyone that he got penalized. But at the end of the day, you're gonna get penalized, even though if you don't like it. But as well, you're going to have to be, you need to be careful because NASCAR is NASCAR. You're the driver who's behind the wheel. The spotter is the spotter who's calling and making the shots. But when it comes to telling your driver to wreck him, that is what NASCAR probably saw for Austin Spotter. That's why he's suspended for 3 races, meaning that he won't be back until the first race of the playoffs, which I'm not sure which one it is. Now, like I said earlier, he will not be in the last 3 races, including Darlington, which is the last race of the regular season, which means that Austin Spotter is not going to come back until the first race of the playoffs. If Austin can find a way before these 3 races and before the playoffs, he might get a guaranteed shot of being back in the playoffs. But I don't think he will be in the playoffs. I might just be jinxing it here, but I don't think he will. Now, if they put this in context, I think Dillon just simply didn't care, because he said in his race interview on Sunday, he said that because he heard in his post media interview, he said Joey and Hammond push people off the track all the time. This is not pushing people. That was not pushing people off the track. This is something different. This was a wreck. That was not pushing people off the track. Look, pushing people off the track is just pushing people to make them run out of the road. This was something completely different. You just wrecked them without pushing them at all. Because at the end of the race, he literally right rear hooked Joey Logano and he crashed Danny Hamlin. Now, if you think I may not be saying it correctly, it's your fault if you're not hearing this. Now, Austin Dillon deserves this. Everyone who talked about it yesterday, everyone who talked about this yesterday took a chance and talked about it. And what I mean is Junior and the Iceberg, NASCAR Overtime, and Kenny Wallace, and it's the Eric Estep, myself right now. I think, and as well NASCAR, and as well as NASCAR. NASCAR also talked about it. E.T. Sawyers said that see, they have all the data, and they can look back at the race and see what went wrong at the last lap. They know when to penalize someone or when not to penalize someone. They know when they want to penalize something. Again, this was the perfect call. This is the right call. Exactly. This is the most shocking news from yesterday. Again, I reacted, Junior reacted, the Iceberg reacted, NASCAR Overtime reacted. Eric Easter reacted. Real Radman reacted. A whole bunch of people reacted. And I have a podcast for a reason. I have a podcast to tell people what exactly happened on Sunday. And so, I think that was a perfect move from Dillon. He shouldn't have done that. Yes, he keeps the win. Yes, he keeps the trophy. But at the same time, you have to be careful. It's not just about racing and who's around you. It's about winning and making it to the playoffs. Even Harvick talked about it. Harvick even calls him a silver spoon. In my defense, he probably calls him a bad word. But to make it want to be real, I'm gonna say this. RCR usually struggles whenever they go somewhere. They're not that good. They have a terrible short trip package this year. Sorry, their speed has not been there this year. And yes, Kyle Busch probably beats him a lot. But what I'm saying is, I feel like this is right. But I also feel like this is the most shocking news from yesterday. And this is what I like so far. And so, I think NASCAR made the right move. They hit the hammer. They had to do something anyways. And so I know they know, the three knows, the whole crew knows, NASCAR knows, everyone who talked about this knows. I am not a Dillon fan. Exactly. I'm not really a Dillon fan, but in my defense, he deserves this. And also in my defense, he is not smart. Yeah, Logano gets to be mad at him. Reddick gets to be mad at him. Denny Hamlin gets to be mad at him. Junior gets to be mad at him. And a lot more people get to be mad at him. Even Kenny Wallace gets to be mad at him if he wants to be. And also, and I get to be mad at him. And so, if they choose to just simply try to appeal it, I'm not. Or search, they probably will appeal it. There's a reason why NASCAR brought up this appealing thing years ago, because George were probably mad years ago and they wanted to appeal it, even though I don't know when it was backwards, even though sometimes they get suspended by having appealing it, or sometimes they don't. Sometimes they get the win and they only let their spider let off by only 2 races, or they return the penalty back to Dillon. or they just return the penalty if they lose, or they decide not to give a penalty. Then in this case, I think they will, which he did yesterday. And so, yeah, again, my defense, the perfect move from the 3 card. Yes, I know these are the next gen cards, but you can't come back from 5 card links. So this is my hand, right? Okay, so this is 5 card links. You can't just send it and make it be like 1 card link or 2 card link and make it look, oh, I'm gonna win. No. If you come back and you're sending it 5 card links, what is wrong with you? If you're sending it from 5 card links just to win it, you're taking out someone. They're taking out someone. I don't care. You're taking out someone. Even it doesn't seem fair. If you're sending it from 5 card links, you're taking out someone. You're taking out someone. Twice. And so, I do think this is the best shotgun use ever. And I don't think they have to, they might appeal, they might want to appeal it, but I don't think there's a need to appeal it. Again, I might be jinxing it, but I don't think there's a need to appeal it. And so, I do think that Dillon made a mistake. I mean, he made a mistake for a reason. If any Austin Dillon fan wants to comment on wants to leave a bad comment on this podcast, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If any Austin Dillon fan leaves a comment on my podcast, I don't care. I don't care. I'll defend myself and tell you that a penalty is a penalty, and a rack is a rack. That's my response. A penalty is a penalty, and a loss is a loss. I'm not joking. A penalty is a penalty. A win is a win, and you lost a chance to make it to the playoffs. Because of the win that has not played eligibly, he may be like 26 now. He did came in during second place, so I'm not sure if he's 26 or something like that. But this is a penalty for him, and I think this is the best use ever that you could ever hear. And you're not going to. It's not gonna get better than this. And so, there's literally nothing more I can talk about. But this was perfect from NASCAR, and they hit the hammer. Everyone reacted. There was a reason for everyone to react. Like I said, Real Radman, Junior, the Iceberg, Let's Go Overtime, myself, Joe Jr. I'm not sure if I reacted or mentioned already. Kevin Harvick, Hamlin. Any podcast who talk about it, even Kenny Wallace himself, any driver, even Bubba on Sunday, and Braddock, anyone who reacted to the Ty Dillon react. They know what was going to happen. They know my reaction. So yeah, I guess this is it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. I know I didn't make an intro, but that's because I want to get straight to it. So yeah, see you guys later.